On the Sunday of the fourth week of Lent, in Cycle A, the Gospel is taken from John 9, 1 to 41. As Jesus passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Jesus answered, "Neither he nor his parents sinned. It is so that the works of God might be made visible through him. We have to do the works of the one who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." When he had said this, he spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and smeared the clay on his eyes, and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam," which means sent. So he went and washed, and came back able to see. His neighbors and those who had seen him earlier as a beggar said, "Isn't this the one who used to sit and beg?" Some said, "It is." But others said, "No, he just looks like him." He said, "I am." So they said to him, "How were your eyes opened?" He replied, "The man called Jesus made clay and anointed my eyes and told me, 'Go to Siloam and wash.' So I went there and washed and was able to see." And they said to him, "Where is he?" He said, "I don't know." They brought the one who was once blind to the Pharisees. Now Jesus had made clay and opened his eyes on a Sabbath. So then the Pharisees also asked him how he was able to see. He said to them, "He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and now I can see." So some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from God, because he does not keep the Sabbath." But others said, "How can a sinful man do such signs?" And there was a division among them. So they said to the blind man again, "What do you have to say about him, since he opened your eyes?" He said, "He is a prophet." Now the Jews did not believe that he had been blind and gained his sight until they summoned the parents of the one who had gained his sight. They asked them, "Is this your son, who you say was born blind? How does he now see?" His parents answered and said, "We know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. We do not know how he sees now, nor do we know who opened his eyes. Ask him. He is of age, he can speak for himself." His parents said this because they were afraid of the Jews, for the Jews had already agreed that if anyone acknowledged him as the Christ, he would be expelled from the synagogue. For this reason, his parents said, "He is of age, question him." So a second time they called the man who had been blind and said to him, "Give God the praise. We know that this man is a sinner." He replied, "If he's a sinner, I do not know. One thing I do know is that I was blind, and now I see." So they said to him, "What did he do to you? How did he open your eyes?" He answered them, "I told you already, and you did not listen. Why do you want to hear it again? Do you want to become his disciples too?" They ridiculed him and said, "You are that man's disciple. We are disciples of Moses. We know that God spoke to Moses, but we do not know where this one is from." The man answered and said to them, "This is what is so amazing, that you do not know where he is from, yet he opened my eyes. We know that God does not listen to sinners, but if one is devout and does his will, he listens to him. It is unheard of that anyone ever opened the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not from God, he would not be able to do anything." They answered and said to him, "You were born totally in sin, and are you trying to teach us?" Then they threw him out. When Jesus heard that they had thrown him out, he found him and said, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" He answered and said, "Who is he, sir, that I may believe in him?" Jesus said to him, "You have seen him. The one speaking with you is he." He said, "I do believe, Lord," and he worshipped him. Then Jesus said, "I came into this world for judgment, so that those who do not see might see, and those who do see might become blind. Some of the Pharisees who were with him heard this and said to him, "Surely we are not also blind, are we?" Jesus said to them, "If you were blind, you would have no sin, but now you are saying, 'We see,' so your sin remains." On this fourth Sunday of Lent, with the healing of the man born blind, the Church invites us to meditate on the juxtaposition between seeing and not seeing, between light and darkness, and between appearance and reality, and teaches us that the Christian path is one of illumination, and that as we walk along it, we gradually become like Jesus, and we begin to see what we do not see until now. In today's story, we will come to appreciate this process of illumination more clearly. It's about a man who has never seen the light. He doesn't know what it is. He can't imagine it. And if you try to explain it to him, which is very difficult to do, he won't understand. He lives in a world of darkness, but he has grown accustomed to it and has arranged his life around it. In this text, the man born blind represents us, because we go through life without really seeing, believing that this is how life is and should be. And the worst thing is that we are convinced that we see clearly. So where exactly is our blindness? When we confuse appearances with reality, believing that what is seen, external signs, appearances, physiques, titles, fame, and honors, is the only thing that matters. Furthermore, we seek to live in that world of appearances, trying to show off. This way of living only brings disappointment and disenchantment, and we stumble through life because we move through it by taking what is apparent as if it were real. Today, the text teaches us that only an encounter with Jesus is what opens our eyes and allows us to truly see. But that's when our problems begin, with those who think they see. These are the people who do not seek God, nor are they interested in the happiness that Jesus' path offers. They are those who have not overcome the temptations of appearances, and yet they dare to judge because they think they see. The story begins by telling us that, as Jesus passed by, he saw a man blind from birth. If you look closely, it is Jesus who sees him, who pays attention to him. The blind man does not call him, nor does he look for him, nor does he notice Jesus, because he cannot see him. He's fine as he is, and he's already used to sitting in the same place, begging for alms. Everyone knows him, he has already made his own world, and he doesn't want his life to be disturbed. So Jesus takes the initiative and decides to heal him so that the works of God may be manifested in him. The text also teaches us that healing is a work of light, of God. For this is not done by the darkness, it does not like or want us to see. Then the text says that he made clay with the saliva and smeared the clay on his eyes and said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Siloam." And after doing so, the blind man finally saw he was cured. Curiously, following this extraordinary work of healing, a long questioning about Jesus begins. The Pharisees, instead of rejoicing in the good deed that had been done, are suspicious, raise doubts, ask questions, and call for witnesses. Neighbors and family are asked to certify his blindness from birth. And since they can't believe it, they ask several times how it happened. But those who question healing are the ones who are blind. They are the ones who do not see the good. They do not see God acting among us. And they do not see because they worry about the forms, about their commitment to the external, and they put that rule above the health of the blind. Even worse, they accuse Jesus of being a sinner with a series of prejudiced statements that demonstrate their enormous short-sightedness by declaring, "We know he is a sinner. We do not know where he comes from. He did it on the Sabbath, therefore he's not from God. The only one who defends Jesus is the one who was blind, because now he can see. Not even the blind man's parents defend him. But because he defends Jesus, the blind man is expelled from the synagogue, which meant marginalization from society. This was the Jewish penalty for recognizing Jesus. As I told you at the beginning, when you start walking with him and start seeing, then the problems begin. In this case, the persecutions that arise from following him. And these are expressed in the expulsion and separation from the community of the one who was blind. The text tells us that after his expulsion, the one who was blind met Jesus again. And Jesus asked him, "Do you believe in the Son of Man?" And he who was blind worshipped him. That is, he adored him. Well, now that you see fully, you can distinguish where the true light is, and you can recognize that Jesus is God. The text ends with the following statement: "I came into this world for judgment, so that those who do not see might see, and those who do see might become blind." The judgment of Jesus is that everything will be brought to light, made transparent, and those who say they see will be dazzled by the light of Jesus. They will not be able to see, and their hidden interests, their false greetings, and their deceptive appearances will be exposed. By way of conclusion, I would like to invite you to consider that in this world we live like blind people, and those who say they see really do not see. Well, we are full of prejudices. We judge based on appearances, and we stick to accepted forms. Everything goes through Photoshop. Everything is made up, modified, or faked. We are incapable of changing our minds, accepting another way of thinking, or giving others the chance to recover or come good. In contrast, when we follow Jesus, then we become children of the light and begin to see. His light reveals the evils of darkness and shows us what pleases God. As Paul says to the Ephesians, "Open your eyes, awake, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will give you light." Let us ask God for his help so that he allows us to approach him, so that illuminated by his light, we can see and find the path to happiness. Society of Jesus, Jesuits, Peru.